All right, welcome into NFT Live. I see you, whoa boy. I see you. You're getting after it. Guys, I am sitting here with some good friends. We are about to talk the non-fungible token industry. It's going to be a good time. We had a lot of sound bites right before we even pressed live. Tigbo got some Moonbirds action he wants to talk about. I have a community member from LADZ City in here as well, and we have Whoa but I'll let them introduce themselves. Of course, I am Nifty Q, your host for today's, or co-host for today's NFT Live episode. Good to see you guys in here. But guys, let's go clockwise here, and then let's introduce ourselves.
What's up, guys? Tigbo, member of the LADZ City crew as well, co-host on Fridays, normally with Q. Glad to be here. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and definitely looking forward to talking Moonbirds, talking Bored Apes, talking SuperPlastic, just a whole ton of stuff.
Yeah, my name's Poner, and I'm a noble in LADZ City. Been a big listener and longtime fan, so I'm excited to be on the show and talk some NFTs.
It's me, Whoa Boy, from the Nifty Castle, and art start now on LADZ City. So excited to get some more of those episodes in for you folks. Just happy to be here with the LADZ City crew, OVOT. Let's dig into some topics, talk about it, sling some ideas around.
Yeah, man, our vibe, our tribe. It is a happy Lads Day as well. I want to give a quick shout out to our moderator and one of our biggest and best community members here in LADZ City, Hash Rhymes, who had her birthday yesterday. So shout out, happy birthday to the Hash Rhymes. And we will get this started, man. I just want to riff real quick. I know we got some topics that we want to touch on, but I feel like all three of us or all four of us are doing, things personally in the NFT space that made I wouldn't say the news, but made news in our lives. So what just happened with you here, Tigbo, 2 seconds ago?
Dude, so, obviously everyone's waiting today for the Moonbirds raffle results. They were supposed to go live at 12 p.m. Eastern. They were delayed for a few hours. So the pre-mint website was getting a server update, apparently. It ran long, and it kept everyone was just waiting around for it. So they just released the results as we were just about to go on live. I was gonna try to wait to figure out if I won or not, but I couldn't wait. So I went in, checked in my one wallet, and I got lucky. It says I won. I'm in the mint, man. It's super. I'm stoked. I didn't know what to say. I'm just excited, man. I honestly, I never win these things. All these big raffles that you always enter, I'm never lucky enough to win. I've never won a raffle in LADZ City, let alone something this big. But definitely, dude, I'm stoked, man. I literally text my wife "Yo, we won." She's like, "What did we win?" I'm like, "Well, don't even worry about it. We just won some wealth."
What else are you guys up to today? Poner, we'll start with you, and Wobo, I want to hear what you got going on in your life as well.
Yeah, honestly, just looking at the Moonbirds mint, which I unfortunately didn't get in, but checking out VFriends and the V2 that's supposed to be launching. I got 3 allow list spots for that, so that's what I've been focusing on and keeping my attention on.
That's dope.
And I start the morning with a little Twitter Spaces with the old Cake Nygaard as a room Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's a lot of fun. And so we mix it up in there. But then coming in here and then realizing that I also, too, needed to check up on my Moonbirds status. And I also did not. I was not worthy to nest. But it's okay. It's okay because but I've got all you guys here, and I've got the Nifty Castle crew. Right now we're focused on Witchy GF, which is still mint right now, and we're doing everything we can to develop out lore and build something pretty great over there with that project and the people over there in our community. So all hands on deck on Witchy GF stuff and developing that's an art and everything. So lots of focus on world building.
Yeah, shout out to the Nifty Castle crew, man. You guys are absolutely killing it with Art Start now, and just everything on our network at least, but everything in general you guys are building is dope. I want to touch on the chat real quick. Dickensis is saying, Tigbo, you now have the privilege to spend $7,500. So I guess that's a good privilege. But
listen, I don't think in USD. I think in ETH. Okay, so it's not that bad because right now ETH is a little down, so it's not that expensive in reality.
That's dope. Wobo, I want to ask you a question because you touched on this right before we pressed live, like community building with memes. We asked you, like, you're building memes these days in Photoshop, and you're also doing Nifty Castle, and you were talking about language and all this cool stuff. Like, throw that tidbit out there, man, because I think that was a cool combo.
Sure, I'll toss a little bit out there for everyone. I just think that it's important if you're building a project or a community that you establish a set language or start creating memes so that people can communicate and distribute that language and that energy out to other platforms beyond like Discord. So most people use Discord as their home base, and then creating all the assets and everything there, and having something that people can look to and be like, oh, this is the tradition, this is the culture. Let's extend that out to everyone so that they're familiar with, like, just so that they know if they do vibe with that as well. Our vibe, our tribe is a perfect example of like a simple hashtag that's like, oh, what is the vibe? What is, like, let's look into this a little bit more, because and something being tribal too. Like those are very specific things that as soon as someone hears it, they're a bit more curious. So create that language so people can become more curious and learn if it's something for them or not. So I think, yeah, establishing that base language and culture is extremely important for any project.
Guys, this is an open conversation. I know we've been doing the roundtable here for like 2 or 3 weeks. So if you have any thoughts or anything, don't feel like we have to go in order or anything like that. We're still like working on this layout here, especially with a little bit of lag from vMix. But yeah, Wobo, I think you hit the nail on the head. It was awesome to see our vibe, our tribe kind of come from the community as well. Like that was another piece we were talking about. Like it wasn't directly from the team saying, no, this is what we're saying. It really just came organically, and it's stood the test of time because of that. So, all right, guys,
Yeah,
we
I feel
are.
like those things.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Q. I feel like those things are kind of important because those are, like you said, these are things that kind of spring out of communities that are built within, you know. I know, like Bonner mentioned, Be Friends, minting today, and all that stuff. And getting into these communities, I feel like it just sets you up for success in the space because, you know, you kind of make connections, you create these relationships with other members of the community, and which from those communities spring off into other things, you know, like Nifty Castle has so many great creative people within that Discord that those people are also doing other projects. And I feel like, you know, like what we was touching on, building that community, that language is just something very important. And I feel like it's just a recipe for success, you know. I know we just got on the topic, but I just want to make my point on that.
Mm, mm. There was an example of I was in a Discord where the artwork was absolutely incredible. The project and product was incredible. ZenFT. I don't know if you got, you know, the bonsai trees
Yep.
and the forest
Yeah,
spirits.
yeah,
The product that they put out is like it has been so consistent, and the marketing materials, everything is so cool. It's 3D, and so sometimes, as for artists, like when people create derivative art, it's tougher for people to create, like, to use the 3D art as like guidelines so that they can create something that's derivative. Now, luckily, ZenFT has, if you look at your forest spirit on the side in the description, they have like 8 different files that come with your forest
yeah,
spirit. Like that happened day one, and some of those are PNGs. But the truth is, with 3D products, it's like it's just a bit tougher for there's not as many people that are familiar with like creating a derivative like based off of that. And there weren't a ton of like artists, I think, like in the community creating derivatives. There's one piece of art that was really cool, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is an opportunity for like more artists to be introduced to this awesome project and to create more culture for that. So I think introducing artists to your project so that you can create derivative artwork, having people create memes, and then also establishing some sort of base language, are all, as far as culture goes, those hashtags, having that all like conscious, like in your mind when you're creating a project, like, oh, who are these people, like that, because it will naturally be born. But if you think about it too, if you're conscious about it going into your project, you'll be better off too, because I think it makes anything more valuable. Yeah, I ramble.
Yeah, and I'm a marketer by trade, so just to kind of like touch on that, anytime that you're able to kind of empower the community or make it really easy for them to be kind of your biggest advocate, it's just going to benefit the project as a whole. If you're making like those PNG files and all of that easily accessible, so people can kind of plug and play into their own type of content, since Twitter is such a big aspect of NFTs.
Yeah, great points all around, guys. We're gonna move into our first topic of the day, which is our boy Elon making an offer for Twitter, and this comes after he's sitting on the board now and bought some stock. There's some interesting like Machiavellian things going on with him now being on the board, owning some pieces, and then wanting to do a hostile takeover now. We got a new piece here like 2 seconds ago, actually, where the board is now adopting some type of legalese poison pill to defend from a hostile takeover. So some updates here from this piece, but I'll start with you, Poner. What do you think about this, basic story? I made an Elon saying I made an offer on Twitter, 42, I think 42 or 43 billion. What do you make of it?
I mean, it was a good offer. Like what he offered was well above what the share price was trading on. So I think the funny part of that is like the board kind of has to consider it. If you say like your role as a CEO of a company, of a public company, is to like provide value and drive value to your shareholders, you have to think about what's going to drive the most value. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion about that internally. I just want the edit button though.
Please.
It's funny because like Elon is always known to do these kind of things to kind of shake things up and make waves. I feel like he had maybe a few calls on the stock and you knew it was gonna run up, so he wanted to make a quick announcement. Because at the end of the day, we know how no one knows how serious he is about truly buying out this company. If he's just trolling because that's just what Elon does. But it'd definitely be interesting to see if like something comes out of this. And he does have some, I guess, creative input of how the company should be ran, or even just the app, the layout, the user interface. Because I know a lot of people are asking for features that have been slowly kind of rolling out. And we were just talking beforehand, comparing Clubhouse to Twitter Spaces, whereas maybe that's something they could kind of also feature and focus on because Twitter was not optimized to run Spaces like Clubhouse was. Like Clubhouse sole purpose was to run these live, like live, I guess you could call them podcasts, with open discussions. Whereas, hopefully if they have some new blood in there, some new creative minds in there to kind of tweak the format, tweak the app, tweak the layout, I think it will be good for Twitter as a whole. But, who knows if there's any truth to these, I guess, offers.
Yeah, I want to pull up the a piece from the SEC filing for Elon Musk, signed by Elon Musk here. His words: "I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a social imperative for a functioning democracy." He goes on to say, "Twitter has extraordinary potential, and I will unlock it." Whoa, boy, what do you think about this offer from Elon? Is he going to make Twitter better if he ends up kind of coming through and being able to make this purchase?
I think that it all depends on how. I mean, this is a big. This is a big. I think politics go into this quite a bit too. Like when people take a look at like Elon and some of obviously we see everything that he's created, but people look at him in a certain light for like all of the podcasts that he's ever been on and some of his social stances and stuff. I think that statement of it being a tool for free speech, I think that's the most important thing. It's less about. I mean, obviously, people will look at the money and be like, okay, we should genuinely consider this just because the dollar mark and stuff and like objectively, but a lot of other people are looking at it as like it would be a radical change if Elon was at the helm of this. We all know that. It would be like definitely extremely different. But what is that? What are the things that like I'm so curious. Let's say hypothetically that he does take the reins. What is I think of it like a presidency. Like what are the things that he's gonna do first, right? Like what is his campaign? We want an Elon campaign. Like it would be really funny started doing a campaign. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's weird because like I guess Twitter's always been accused like maybe when Jack was still there of kind of censoring certain posts, certain topics, and there's always been FUD around that. But I feel like with Elon, his thing will be always to, I guess, putting, like you guys said, free speech forward and making sure that's the, I guess, the big goal at the end of the day. My thing is that if they could just stop all these scammers tagging me every day, about 4 or 5 times a day, that'd be great.
But that comes with it, though, doesn't it? Doesn't that come with it?
Yeah,
with like, yeah, like that is, if you're creating true free speech, then you're gonna have to. I don't know. I think also it's gonna be a private company. Well, sorry, it's a. It is. They can do whatever they want technically. So, yeah, I'm just curious what those private decisions would be.
Yeah, that's the rabbit hole conversation with decentralization too. Is like, how decentralized do you want to get? Do you want to have these like graphic photos and videos if no one is kind of policing this content? Is it done by the community instead of some third party or the company itself? That's kind of the, I guess, rabbit hole conversation. So if Elon doesn't get this purchase here with Twitter, and he doesn't kind of radically change what's going on, do you guys believe in like other third party applications that could potentially unseat the big boys? I know Stanny from Aave is looking into doing like decentralized social media. There's been Minds, I think, is a platform that's tackled this. It always seems like too big of a hurdle to me when people are like, oh, we're going to create the next decentralized Twitter. It's like, okay, good luck, dude, or ma'am. So what do you guys make of decentralized social media if Elon can't pull this off with Twitter?
I think it's something, we all want the decentralized space, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's very hard to do that without having Web 2 centralized elements to create it. As we've seen in the space, other big companies coming in and buying up land, doing huge drops, and people kind of feel that, that our centralized idea of the space is not really what it's becoming or what we thought it was going to be. People that want to try to create something new or make something better is definitely going to be a hard thing to do because, Twitter is such a massive thing now. And honestly, I don't even know if I have the attention span to use another app and then have to be going between Twitter and whatever new app that might pop up because it's centralized and all that. Twitter does what it does for me. I don't need more than that. It's the spamming and the tracking sucks because you get these ads and all that shit. But at the end of the day, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It just gives me the most up to date info that I need, and I don't really need another app to come and try to do the same for me.
I think eventually somebody will figure out a model that works, but I heard a phrase that they talk about, like if you're not paying for something, you are the product at the end of the day. So taking that to social media and thinking of yourself as the product, I think that there will be a social media company that's able to kind of deroot what we have just because that's how technology advances and everything. But the payment and the way money flows is that it's going to have to be a model that gets figured out. And I don't think that's been figured out yet.
Yeah. And the progression of Web3 tech is just in general, these systems and models are the space just needs to grow for there to be any sort of adoption that would even indicate that it could possibly be like something that could potentially overturn like overtake like something like Twitter. It takes so much. It'll likely be a new Web2 entity that enters with something that is that differentiates itself beyond any other experience and incorporates social like a social experience that has some sort of like AR or like VR elements incorporated into it. Once that requires VR being adopted too. So it's just like, yeah, what does that look like? I mean, you see TikTok come in, and TikTok has been extremely popular, but it's not like it is a staple for us, but it doesn't mean that people are not using Twitter. Twitter is still the place where everything is disseminated and distributed, and people spend most of their time distributing ideas. Like ideas do. Like I have two little sisters. They learn a lot through TikTok and stuff. I will say that. So it's more of a visual medium, and it's more of it is memey in its own way. It's just that Twitter just feels like it's where all of the other social media outlets are being distributed through there. Like it's just like the most consistent, and every generation is here. Every generation.
I feel like Twitter is almost like an aggregator, right? Because you see the YouTube links there, you see the TikTok videos in there, so everything's always get posted in there because it's embedded and you can see it anyway. But yeah, I see what you're saying with the TikTok thing. Like, I feel like some people graduated from like YouTube State College and went to TikTok University because that's where now they're getting all their knowledge and learning all these random facts and stuff. But yeah, I see what you're saying. At the end of the day, I feel like people are still, they end up their time on Twitter. I feel like it's just you want to be the most up to date and get things news sources at as fast as possible. I think definitely Twitter's the go to.
Awesome. We'll move on to our next piece here. I think those are good points to make on decentralized social media, and you guys touched on that real well. So we'll move on to this next piece. I think I'm going to skip to number 3, guys, and we'll come back to 2. If anyone is out there and knows the Twitter profile that creates like I guess the rankings for the NFT projects with A, B, C, D all the way down. I had that tweet and just completely misplaced it. I don't know exactly where that was, but I was going to.
Are you talking about the tier systems? The tier systems?
It's like a tier. It was there, and then it wasn't, and that happens sometimes when you're producing content a little bit. But we will move on to the third piece and see if anybody can hit us with those links. But this is basically what happened this past weekend, and this early this week was, and I'll let this trailer play. All right, so SuperPlastic work with BAYC, as you guys can tell from those trailers. They launched a limited edition merchandise release for, I believe, SuperPlastic holders. It was BAYC holders. It was MAYC holders, and then it was open to the public. Completely sold out. I know they had some problems as you see in these merchandise pieces. In these sales, they had some problems and actually refunded people completely, and also are still giving them their merchandise. But these all sold out again. Wanted to get your take on the aesthetics and what you thought of this drop in general, guys, and then we can make our way into other projects doing merchandise in this space that you like.
I saw just some info after the drop. I saw some posts on Twitter. So I didn't know this, but apparently Curtis is not even a real ape part of the collection. This is just something they created for SuperPlastic. I don't know, Q, can you correct me on that since you're more in tune with the ecosystem?
I think that is true, but I'm almost positive this looked. I couldn't give you a definitive answer, but I'm almost positive that's true.
Yeah, so I saw that, and then I saw some people complaining that if you look at the other, like the mutant Curtis, it just looks it's just a different colorway. Like they didn't even really change any of the aesthetics. Same thing with the public. Some people felt like SuperPlastic kind of just didn't really put too much effort in some of the different alt versions of them. But I mean, I think they look great. I think a lot of people felt that they were gonna get like custom 101s of their ape when they first announced. So I feel like a lot of people were kind of confused by that. But I think they look great, man. I saw some posts on eBay. They were selling for about like $500, $600 on eBay last night. But I think they look dope. I think if whoever got them will be happy with them. SuperPlastic is, does quality work, and they're known for the work, the quality of the work that they do. But yeah, I saw that also people that got some errors or issues with their orders got the stuff for free as far as the merch goes. So I mean, that was cool to see. I saw a lot of people happy with getting even more free stuff for the BAYC holders.
The first thing that came to my mind when you were talking about like if Curtis isn't a real ape or whatever, if that is true, if it was intentional because they weren't trying to build the IP behind a specific character, specific ape that does exist, and then if that would tie it like a monetary value, because now you have, you know, however many Curtises out there, would it make that NFT more valuable?
It would almost be have to like owned by Yuga, right? Like if they wanted to go with this, it couldn't be owned by some, you know, random person that they had a partnership with. Because what happens if they lose that ape or you know, sell the ape off?
You guys know about Bobu and Azuki, right?
No,
Yeah.
tell
Like,
us what happened.
oh, Bobu is this character that is an official Azuki that was has been used like as a communal character, and they fractionalized 20,000, or sorry, it's, I don't know if it's an official, like, it's not tied to the value of the technical NFT. But they made 20,000 editions of like Bobu, a separate NFT, and they have a multi-sig wallet that like a bunch of people are on from the community that have proven like that they want to participate in storytelling, and for various other reasons, and they're going to be like evolving that sort of structure of who's involved with that wallet. But they want to storytell in a like democratic sort of way, like collectively with their community, with all those holders, allow people to vote on like the future of like this character. So that would have been really cool for, like, I think of that in Bored Ape Yacht Club terms, but what you just mentioned, Poner, like that in my head, that's what I was thinking, like as soon as you said that. So just wanted to mention that for all of you. If you're not familiar with it, Azuki's doing something pretty cool in regards to that. I'll let you continue though. Sorry.
No, yeah. As far as the Suki goes, I own some Bobu. Yeah, it's pretty cool what they did. They basically just fractionalized it and allowed whoever wanted to get in the Suki ecosystem to fractionally own this NFT that I guess is their almost like their logo, like not mascot, but that sounds dumb, but this is basically what they identify as. But yeah, I guess you have right. You have a point where if BAYC had to pick one ape, it almost have to be like a bolted ape, right? That an ape that will probably never be sold, will always be in the hands of the BAYC owners or creators, because like you said, they're tying this brand, this IP to other things that eventually I'm sure they're gonna create more stuff out of. So yeah, you have a point. Some people are fighting that. Oh, some of you guys don't even know that that's not even a real ape, but I mean, does it really matter? Like, it's the brand that you're really trying to buy. I think people are just disappointed that they thought they were gonna get their own custom 101 apes, but anybody who's ever created toys or doesn't mess with vinyl and all that stuff, it's pretty expensive to even get a line of these things done and out the door. So I think it was great. I think people at the end of the day when they receive them, I think they're gonna be happy with them. They look dope. I didn't really get in the drop. I honestly just kind of didn't pay no mind to it. But yeah, I think they look great overall.
Yeah, that point that you made about people expecting like a one of one, I think could be also like ported over to the metaverse, and why we don't have interoperability yet. Like everybody wants their one of one inside Decentraland or inside all of the next cool game. That's extremely hard to do from a development perspective. Like it'll more likely be one Bored Ape that will represent that is a Bored Ape.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you got?
I think ZenFT is doing that, by the way. All of their forest spirits are, like I said, on the description on the left-hand side for forest spirits. One of those files is a 3D AR version of your character, and I'm not positive, but like that means that it's like ready to be. It's like rigged and everything. So like, there's been some sneak peek things in the Discord where they have someone walking around Decentraland as their avatar. So that was really sick to see. But it's an example of like potentially all 8,000 of those things, like you being able to have your own unique character and like projecting that into the metaverse. Pretty cool.
Well, yesterday Rizzo had his on-chain chain drop, which allows you to. It's a metaverse, I guess, wearable that you could put on any of the NFTs that you have. So CyberKong VX, even I guess now the Dreamers VX. If you own these assets that you could play on the sandbox in crypto voxels, you actually could wear this wearable now on your avatar, which I think is really dope. I think that's something we're gonna be seeing more of. Especially now with the whole Omni meta, you see all these Omni drops. There's Omni Ghosts and Omni Cats and all this stuff that cross chain. You could transfer them from chain to chain, which I feel like eventually we're gonna see just more of that because you kind of have to. These other L1 chains or L2 chains are becoming more and more popular and are creating marketplaces and all these different things that I feel like this is where we're going to be seeing more of these things head. And so I feel like creators and artists in general, like you said, well, boy, they're going to be making these drops that you're going to be able to wear them and take them to different places you prefer. Some people prefer to go to Decentraland. Some people besides crypto voxels. Some people want to have their ape. Some people want to be their Kong. And you could mix and twine these however you choose to. So I feel like that's something we're going to be seeing, in the next year or two more of for sure.
Poner, I want to get your last take on this because I think we almost hijacked the point you were making with all three of us kind of getting in on those topics. But the last piece on licensing that you hit on as well, man. I talked with Yatsu last night from Animoca Brands. They lost the license to F1, and therefore one of the games that they completely had made up around F1, they had to port into another game. They said, if you hold this NFT, which of course you don't lose the NFT, you just lose the platform continuing to build. They were able to port to another game, but not everyone's Animoca. So if you don't have another project that you can port, something over, if you own the previous asset that you lost license to, you're screwed almost. So I know those are a lot of different points, but do you have any last thoughts on what we just covered?
No, I feel like we're just gonna have to see how things play out, and a lot of law ends up being just setting precedent for things. You see something happen, then you figure out how it's gonna get taken care of, and I feel like that's no different than what we're gonna see with IP rights in the NFT space. Is we're just gonna see examples get made of what you want and what you don't want, and then people tweak it from there.
And I will say, aesthetically, the SuperPlastic drop is incredible, and I think it does reflect. Also, we've seen the other side video, and I think that this is how I want Bored Apes to look personally. This is the look that I enjoy. If we were to have these characters walking around, I just think that this is the optimal look for a Bored Ape. So that's just my opinion.
People were talking about the feet being a little off-putting. Those are some pretty large feet. There's no calves there. There's there's not a lot of quad action.
These are cartoon characters. This is they're cartoon characters. They don't that's a design. I don't know. We're gonna get into semantics, but dude,
I think
it looks sick.
I agree. I think they look dope. I don't have an ape, but you always see these different derivatives that people make of full body apes, and they just don't look right. They look weird. I feel like they did a great job. I don't mind the shoes. The bigger size shoes look dope. The sneakers, they look really nice. So I don't know. I feel like aesthetically they look pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I'm going to touch on this piece, guys, because I finally was able to locate it. I am going to pull up an NFT rankings in April. Now, even the person who tweeted about this said they just found this on Instagram, but it seems to be a pretty good list. I'll let you make up what you may from this list, but let me know thoughts, too high, too low. I want to get into the community as well here in chat. Let us know what you think about this list. Just off the cuff comments on any project that might be too Artifact Studios down here might be a little bit too low. It looks like they're doing this in a certain way though. Great potential as opposed to an A, B, C, D.
Can you imagine having X copy under probably something? Come on. I don't know about that. All I see in my eyes are a bunch of bags that I sold too early. And it's just painful to see this. I don't know. I see definitely that blue chip is definitely stacked. B Friends is up there as well. I think, the first two rows, nothing to complain about. On its way, I see ETH Lizards, which I just sold last week, way too early. I see Death. I feel like the ones out of Cyber Brokers, Death Fellas, are probably the ones I will have to bet on kind of moving forward and becoming one of those blue chips. Definitely NFT Worlds. That's
Subduck should
just
be
my
in
take.
on its way.
Uh,
Subducks needs to be higher.
I don't
No,
know. Stop pumping your bags, Q. Like, come on.
I
This is
don't.
not the time for
I've
that.
got like two. I've got two. They don't have any bad projects on
Yeah,
there. Come on, I wanted to shit
I
talk.
don't really see anything that. Oh, all right. Let me say something. The ones for great potential, there's definitely some in there that I feel like we have kind of like the first tier of the older blue chip projects. 'Cause you see a lot of the blue chip projects. There are some of the projects have been around for like 9 months, almost a year now. Whereas you see the great potential ones, you see like Robotos, Toy Boogers, Loser Club. Some of these newer projects that have just come within the last 6 months have been created. I feel like those definitely have potentials. They have really strong communities. So I feel like those are like kind of like the junior varsity projects that you can definitely keep your eye on, and they definitely have a lot of potential. The one all the way to the right with the 10K, what's it called? I always forget the name of it. Yeah, that's probably the one right now. I will probably have to bet my money on because I don't know if you saw Q the teasing with
Yep.
the other side collab coming up, and I feel like that project, to Woboy's point, who's definitely into lore and writing all these different storytelling, I think they've probably done it the best out of any of these projects. They've always kind of brought you along through storytelling, never hyping up anything. They just kind of deliver on their own. And now with a possible collab for the other side, I feel like that's probably the one that I will probably put my money on right now.
Yeah, I want to touch on some comments here, but I also want to hear from Poner and Woboy on what they think about this list. Some comments from the chat. Santino saying, where can I find this chart? We just dropped the link. Subducks should be higher. Jason Moffat saying, what is the Jesus spirit on the bottom? Digging that. So, guys, do we agree with the blue chip column here? Are there any that should be off the blue chip column? I mean, you see a who's who, obviously, but...
I don't have a problem with it.
What is this one?
That's good.
Yeah, that's the one that I don't know.
That's
what is
Kajira.
that?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
they're more like an alpha group. So they're very well connected in the space. They get a ton of pre-sale collabs. I have a few friends that own them. It's basically just like it's an alpha group from what I've understood as far as the utility of the project.
Where's
I
DB's
feel
on
like
this
on
list?
Yeah, for real. Where's DB's?
This is what I'm saying. FFBB. FFBB, you have an opportunity to put the hex board on here. No, I look at it and honestly, it might be related primarily to where they stand, like floor wise, because you look at a lot of these and it's like, okay, if you look for me personally, like I'm a Roboto holder and it's in great potential. And a lot of the stuff that they're establishing culturally, like they're building. If you go to their website, that project like offers so much as far as like providing people the resources to promote their Roboto, like socially, providing people like mini game experiences. They're doing like a ton, and also like your Roboto on your profile, you have it in like 10 different versions so that you can like use it in like assets and create things on like Photoshop, whatever. But their floor price is like a bit lower right now. So I think that like looking at some of these other projects, I think it might be tied primarily to like where their stance, like where they are floor wise. Like that's what it looks like to me personally, rather than like, because like they might be on its way, but it just takes like it takes I don't know, what does it take to become on its way from great potential? That's the question.
I think you're right. I feel like the ones that have great potential could be swapped with a few of those probably somethings. Like you said, like Robotos, for instance, like Stanley is a freaking like just creative genius. The dude is always working, always creating. The man had like a heart attack. He's like probably my age, and just from how overworked and overstressed he was. So yeah, I definitely some of these communities. I feel like you could flip a few of those. But either way, I feel like if you're in any of these communities, if you're holding any of these bags, I feel like you're doing all right so far. I don't know about Raid Party. I feel like Raid Party kind of just dumped on everybody, but it is what it is.
Poner, I want to get your thoughts on this list, man. But kind of going back to this top of this list here with CryptoPunks and Bored Ape. I feel like there shouldn't be a differentiation between elite blue chip and blue chip. Like that's almost saying the same thing. You know, there should just be one blue chip list and then whatever falls underneath. And I kind of agree with the blue chip list here as it stands. Besides maybe the last two, I'm not really familiar with those two. But Poner, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, just to piggyback on what you were saying, like at what point does Azuki or Doodles go up to the elite blue chip hemisphere or whatever? I think the biggest observation I'll say is that like it's all basically PFPs or utility projects and not like art or anything. So I've been trying to pay attention more to like photography and everything. Drifter Shoots has been on my radar a lot, just kind of because of his backstory and the attention that he's getting in the space. So that's the observation that I would make, is that at this point in time, it's not more traditional art. And that's where I think we're going to see a lot of deviation in the next year.
Mm-hmm. What research?
That's good though.
Oh yeah, hit it, guys.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of Drifter Shoots, I feel like it's dope to see that artists like him are now starting to collab as well with different projects. Because yesterday, Look Labs was teasing a collab with him. Look Labs is creating the Endgame. So Drifter Shoots had this tease with them. Apparently, they're gonna do some type of collab. Same thing with like the Vayner Sports Pass. Aku was is gonna be doing a collab with them as well. The Aku Avatar. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do some type of collab as well. So you're seeing this photography and these different artists who don't normally do PFP projects collabing with these other projects who might be PFP or utility passes. So it's definitely cool to see that they're all kind of mixing it together.
Yeah, Adri's here on the chat saying Moonbirds, who got on the allow list. It looks like Tigbo got it. Tigbo did have the ability to
this will be my last stream, boys. I'm out of here. I'll catch y'all later.
You served us well. All right, guys, we're gonna have to continue on here. I mean, we're touching on a little bit of projects in general, and I want to tie in the merchandise piece that we talked about with Bored Ape Yacht Club and SuperPlastic. Who is doing merchandise well in the space? We've seen a lot of Bored Ape drops. I'm a Gutter Cat holder myself. I like the merchandise that they've got going on. It doesn't have to be clothes, but just who's doing merchandise well in the space that you've seen, and why do you like what they're doing?
So
not to
I
put my
think
own bags,
VFriends.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tig. So I was gonna say VFriends just because of the diversity. Like, it's obvious that with the background that Gary Vee has and everything, he'd make stuff happen. But I know they dropped some Uno cards. They did a 800 pack drop of like traditional VFriends cards, and then they have like the clothing and everything as well. But I like the diversification there of being able to get into like other physical merch, and also with that project specifically, building out the IP of specific characters, knowing that there's going to be a lot more to be built around there. Whereas a lot of other projects, it seems like it's more like collectability and I want to support and show kind of this is the faction that I'm with,
I feel like VFriends has definitely done a lot of cool things outside of clothing, like you said. As far as the clothing goes, I saw like the latest drop they did. I'm like, I mean, you can't expect much because it's Gary Vee. He's not a clothes designer or anything like that. It's just very simple words and stuff like that. So that was
basic.
Cool. I know a lot of people were just like funning it because it was on the heels of the Bored Ape merch, the last Bored Ape merch. So they were kind of comparing the two. But then to go off the last Bored Ape merch, a lot of that stuff was I wouldn't wear half the shit that they dropped the last merch just because it was very, very bright, very loud. I got the simple like Bored Ape skull hat, the dad hat, and that's pretty much all I got. But I feel as far as clothing goes, I feel like the collabs that Gutter Cat has done has been really great. Yeah, there's the VFriends collabs. You see, it's just mostly just the words and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like Gutter Cat has done cool collabs because they've kind of done with other designers in the space already. Like the Diamond Supply has been pretty cool, which he's also done collabs with Bored Apes as well. So, and let me tell you, the quality of the merch I think also matters because like the Gutter Cat stuff. The shirts are really good quality.
Yep.
The long sleeve long stuff fit really well. The hoodies are a little heavy. They're a little thicker than I like, but you can tell they're definitely good quality. But yeah, I like Gutter Cat just because they've gone outside the space to collab with actual clothing designers who are already in the streetwear scene and doing their own thing as well.
Can I hit on Nifty Castle here real quick? Oh boy, you guys launched some merch. What do you guys put into when you're thinking about kind of launching merch for your community, and how hard is the process to kind of get from like soup to nuts?
It's a very difficult process. So we have this thing called a sketchnate, and he does this thing called art, and so he sits by himself for days and hours, and then he comes to us with these ideas, and then they're freaking all good, dude. Like we've had to turn down certain designs and stuff because it would be like too many choices. But there's a lot that we haven't shared about Witchy GF. Like we have so much in the pipeline for women, and then also because a lot of the stuff for DBs is like streetwear, like it's like it's like skate culture type stuff, and the designs are so cool. Like he's done such a great job, and with Witchy GF, we consulted like all of the women on our team collectively were like going through like designs and stuff, and like what we should do, how we should approach merchandise for the like holistically for like our audience and like community, so that they can all have something. So yeah, that's been our focus. And Nate he's just got such a great knack for design. He incorporates elements of like cool, cute, and like humor too into a lot of his stuff, and people see that. Like, and with DBs it was primarily cool. So yeah, I look forward to having a little more cute roped into the Witchy GF merch. So I look forward to sharing more of that with everyone. But I think that as far as merch goes, it's just important to have, like I was talking about, culture, tradition, and stuff, to have that integrated into your merchandise so that people are like wearing it around. Like, I want to know VOT. What do you, like? Give me some of that. I saw the V Friends thing. Not gonna lie, like I saw one of the pieces there. I was like, it looks like Times New Roman thrown onto a shirt. Like I was like, like just on the front.
Yeah, I don't think that yeah, it's not impressive. It's not impressive from a clothing standpoint.
But
Well, I feel like boy, I just want to say, I feel like the way that you guys did it for Witchy GF, whereas you guys rewarded your holders, if people who had 4 or more Witchy GF mints, they got to claim 1 free piece of merch from the new stuff that you guys dropped, which I think was great because a lot of these drops, they're not offered at a discount or even free for their holders. A lot of them are just a regular price. So I grabbed my 4 Witchy GF and I claimed my free merch, which I love. I saw, it just reminded me, I saw a post that you guys did, and it says that while we have you here, maybe you want to touch on, maybe give us a little alpha on the big announcement collab you guys have. You want to announce? Maybe just a little hint, a little something.
Wait, are you talking about for which project? I don't know which one. Which one?
I think it was it under the Witchy or under Nifty? I don't remember, or Davies. I don't know. I saw a tweet. It said big collab announcement coming or something.
You could just drop it.
I'm gonna have to.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to talk to GIF about this one before I disclose anything.
No, we don't need to talk to GIF. You can just.
Dude, this isn't. Hey, also, by the way, I was so stoked that this. No. I'm not trying to reroute or anything. It's legitimately, when I saw that the roundtable was happening, I got to know more people that were part of the community. I was really stoked about this format, and I was like, I'm really glad I got this opportunity because I was like, oh, I want to participate in that. And then we would film Art Start Now and like all this other stuff, and we have so much going on. And then GIF was like, hey, you want to get on this? And then I think Prodigy reached out, was like, hey, do you want to get onto the roundtable? I'm like, oh, cool. I think that this is very refreshing. And that just means that this won't be the last time. So there's definitely going to be plenty of we dropping plenty of alpha. One thing that we have mentioned in public spaces multiple times is that there will be tarot cards. So that's a thing.
Physicals?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
pretty dope. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, well,
So
we'll have to get you
that's-
on again to break this down once GIF gives you the go ahead. We'll have you back on, man. Listen, this is what we'll go into next. I wanted to talk a little bit about Cool Cats. We had a comment earlier when we were bringing up the top tier list about Cool Cats doing their best to get off of the blue chip bar there. I don't know if that was up or down. I think this Cooltopia launch is really dope. One of the comments that I wanted to kind of get from you guys is like how you keep up with all the projects in the space. It's a little bit harder here when it comes to like these like pseudo blue chip projects, because it's tough to get involved in the community when the floor is 30 ETH or 40 ETH. You know, that's just hard to get it kind of involved into. So I'm going to play some trailer pieces from this Cooltopia launch, which is essentially their game that they released this past week and are launching that now. So I'm going to play some trailers, get a good look at it. One of them is a gameplay trailer too, but let me just hop out here and play these trailers. We got a gameplay trailer here. So these were primarily having to do with the Cool Pets launch that happened in February. That mint happened for holders of Cool Cats. I can go to my desktop as well, but you know, I really want to kind of again center the conversation around how you guys keep up with all the projects in the space now that there's so many. Again, shout out to Cool Cats for launching the Cool Pet mint, as well as this Cooltopia launch that allows you to kind of grow and, you know, use your cool pets now that you have them. So how do you guys keep up with all these projects in the space, man?
For me,
I'll start off.
Yeah, go ahead. You start off, Take.
Honestly, it's you gotta have a group of friends that are just into this as much as you are, because there's so much happening and so fast. It's just like you said, it's impossible to keep up with everything. When I first started, I was in LADZ City, I was in the Whale Discord, and I was in Token Smart, and that was more of a social thing. So it's not like an alpha drop. People are not in there dropping every project and trying to flip and all that stuff. And you know, when I first started, you know, I, like many people here, I didn't have much ETH to work with. I wanted to get into different projects. I wanted to buy art that I liked as well, because I'm a collector at heart. But you know, it's definitely hard when you're first starting off. Then I found a community of other people that I could definitely vibe with. We were kind of into the same thing. We were all just starting off fresh in the space. We were learning. We were getting our feet on the ground, and that spawned into us breaking into a private Discord that is only 200 of us in there now. And you know, I feel like everyone has their part in the Discord, because some people are into DeFi, some people are into art, some people are into different drops, some people are already within different communities that share different things. And I feel like the best way to kind of keep it, like track of everything is, for me, is two things. It's being a Discord of people that you could vibe off and talk ideas and drop different info on, and then Twitter, because following the right people on Twitter, getting ahead of the game, getting certain ideas and getting perception from different people has always helped me kind of follow the people, deep dive into other projects, and following people that actually do their own research for you is great, because you don't have to do it for yourself. So it definitely saves a lot of time. But yeah, for me, it's definitely having a group of folks that are like-minded with you that can kind of definitely help you keep track of everything.
Yeah, I can kind of echo that sentiment in terms of like finding people that are in the space that you're able to have those conversations with. Honestly, for me though, the most consistent is like a paid alpha group that I'm in, just because there's a different level of expectation when like there's money on the table and you've paid for it. People are still talking about like overall trends, but there you get that like exclusivity that you get from, you know, building a group of close friends together. I am a noob with Twitter, so Twitter's always been a lot to follow for me. Uh, so really, like, trying to cut out the noise is probably the biggest part, since there is so much going on always.
I've been so focused on like cutting through Twitter and finding artists. Like for Art Start Now, that's where I find random, like there's so many talented people in the space. And now that specifically for like Witchy GF and for DBs, we were thinking about it. We're like, oh, we wanted to be more in the now and understand what's going on in the space. So we started a morning show called GM Web 3 Monday through Thursday on Twitter Spaces, and that has been refreshing because like there's so many people that want to talk about this stuff, but they haven't necessarily had the opportunity. So like in our Discord, and we've made it really accessible, but we have guest speakers on, and it's been, which all have different perspectives, because we've gotten to know so many different people in the space since Clubhouse, like from artists to developers to like people starting their own projects. But we're learning that balance of like people coming up on stage and shilling their own stuff and like where people's intentions are. So it's like we do want to grow something where it's like extremely accessible, and then also collectively like people are more familiar with like all these wonderful projects out there that do have value. It's just they haven't had eyes on them yet. So there's like sleeping giants everywhere in the space. It's just a matter of like bringing attention to it, and then also the general like the general trends too like are important. Like one thing I'm gonna be starting next week is in song, doing a floor price song where I go through the floor prices, but like in song, like generally throughout the throughout the space. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a Sarah Script. You know, Sarah Script does her like
Oh, she's my homie.
Disney renditions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
Sarah's amazing. So she does those renditions of Disney songs, and but she
Yeah.
just replaces with NFT space kind of terms. Dude, she's so great. And speaking of alpha groups, I've been part of the Nifty portal for a few weeks now, and I was like stunned when I see Sarah's in there, Brian Brickman is in there, like Benjamin's in there. So these guys that I kind of interact with daily on Twitter, is that'd be cool to see them, because I'm sure as artists, they're definitely well, we can attest to this, because you guys are artists at the end of the day. You guys are creating. You don't have time to be degenning like us and be on Discord all day. It's searching all the different things. So it's definitely cool to see these type of people also joining these alpha groups, because they also want to be part of and kind of stay up to date with different things. So definitely being part of those type of groups, I feel like it has their advantages. If you could get in early before the admission is too pricey, I think it's definitely worth whatever. You can make all that up pretty quick. Getting into different projects and just kind of get, like you said, weeding out what the shitty project, the cash grabs, to utility that's really valuable. And like the spaces are valuable as well. Getting into Twitter Spaces, figuring out who's shilling, who really knows what. And once you kind of get the lay of the land, you kind of figure out, you kind of go with your gut feeling and know who's really truly building unique and valuable stuff, and not just shilling their art. Because like this morning, I was in the Spaces, and this congressman was in the Nifty Portal Spaces, and he came on stage, and he was talking about, yeah, man, I've been in the Nifty space for a while now. And they're like, all right, well, what do you do? What are you into? He's like, oh yeah, I'm coming up with this NFT drop. So they're like, really? So they're like, they're like, oh, we don't really. What's your case for your I guess your campaign? Do you have, like, are you for Bitcoin? Are you for crypto? Are you for decentralization? He's like, no, my main focus is what's it called? Something with the what's it called? The weather, nature. What's it called? Global warming. Excuse me, global warming. He's like, yeah, my main focus is global warming. He's like, wait, so you're in here doing NFTs, you're into crypto, but your main focus is global warming. He's like, don't you think that's a little contradicting? Because we have all these people that say global warming is affected by NFTs and mining and all these different things, and you can tell the dude is just up there for, like, just to go show his NFTs, man. So you definitely gotta figure out who's really truly in it for the right reasons, because for the most part, people are just out there trying to crash grab and show their stuff.
Yeah, guys, we're coming up to the end of the episode here. I want to give a quick shout out to the chat. Easy and Crypto saying lots of sifting through the junk these days. LOL. Alpha TA is in the house saying hello, everyone. We have Llama, Flubber. Flubber actually said the Hexbon merch is sick. Dekenzis is in the house. Moffat's in the house. Prodigy's here. So big shout out to everybody who joined us in the chat for today's episode. Whoa, boy, what you got, man?
Dude, so I just wanted to say, Nifty Q, if I've never personally had this problem, and I'll pose this to all three of you, and I've heard it multiple times of people that are mad Discord users that are honestly juggling communities. Have you hit the 200 mark, like the limit point for Discord servers you can be in? And then that decision of which Discords to leave and which ones to stay in. Also, are those 200 substantial where you've had to genuinely think about which ones you have to leave and you're like, oh my gosh, this is hard? Because I have not reached that yet.
I have not reached that. I put them in categories and then I end up deleting them anyways. So I'm OCD in that sense. The one thing I will say is the shit that annoys me the most about the massive amount of Discords is the ones I can't find that are giving me the beep notifications. I'll get a notification, be like, okay, something's hitting me. It's a DM or it's one of the ones that I really am in. And then I just cannot find the one that somehow is unmuted out of all 200 of them.
How is one of them unmuted? Can't you just or can't you just for your entire Discord blanket do that?
No, you got to do each one, but one by one.
Well, I want to get notifications when I.
No, I mean beeps, the sounds. Yeah. The sounds.
Oh yeah. You can mute the beeps. Yeah.
Well, I like hearing it when I actually have something to get into. It's just I thought I meticulously went through these, and somehow
Dude, yeah. I'm almost embarrassed to say that I run into this issue on a daily basis. And I had to get Nitro just for that reason because, Nitro limits you to a certain amount. So then I bought Nitro and then I was hitting the 200 limit almost on a daily basis. And it's almost bad because I just feel saying it out loud, I feel bad. It just sounds like I'm such a freaking degen. But, getting into these projects, getting into the pre-sale access now, which is the pre-sale grind is such a shitty thing. But, now I have the pre-mint pass, which is dope because you get access to all the different pre-sale things, but you have to join the Discord sometimes. So I'm like, I have to join the Discord now. I go in there, I just I don't even verify, I just literally join it, and I'm just just hit it. But yeah, I mean, there's some projects where I'm truly part of the community because I own the NFT. I want to stay up to date with what's happening. But yeah, I come to that thing where I gotta leave a certain Discord because I gotta make space for another one, And every weekend, I swear to you, I try to organize, I try to clean up. And by then the next week, it's just a whole mess all over again. And I get anxiety because I see over 1,000 notifications. And I'm like, can I just clear them all and not worry about having to go through all of them? But then I'm I feel like I'm going to miss something, So yeah, it's a daily struggle. Something I got to get better at. But yeah, I'm almost embarrassed to say that I, on a daily basis, have to deal with that.
I try to lie to myself and tell myself I can pay attention to more than 25 Discords, but I've come to the realization that that is probably the limit. So what I used to do is I would add them to I'm not going to pay attention group, but I don't want to delete them. But then I figured once I do that, they're gone anyways. So now I just started deleting them.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish I need to have that synced up. A Lord of the Rings, R.I.P. Love that. All right, guys, this has been a good episode, man. I think we hit on a lot. We covered the space as well as we could have. Hopefully, you guys got some good information from us here today, and I love having community members, content creators from the network on the channel. Tigbo, who got his Moonbirds piece there. So team members as well, man. We're hitting everything. Yeah. Give it a little bit there to Tigbo, man.
Dude, I honestly, I'm still in shock. I was I was just waiting to be whatever. Dude, I was yeah, I'm about to go back and rewatch the episode because I'm just babbling on things. But I'm definitely excited to be part of this, the Moonbirds and Proof. And I've been a Kevin Rose fan for a while. I missed out on the Proof drop. I was there for the Dutch auction. I never pulled the trigger. And it's kind of that thing where, you look back at these opportunities that you missed. Same thing with Bored Apes and all these different projects that you missed. So definitely getting the I guess option to pay and get into this group now is definitely great. I'm definitely excited for it. But just in general, just want to thank everybody who came in and checked this out. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. We do this every day almost. We have a piece of content every day. You can catch Woboy tomorrow for Our Star Now. I don't know are you guys on tomorrow, Woboy?
We are calibrating. Fun Uncle is getting back into the mix of things. So
That's right.
so yeah. He had a big conference down in Bitcoin Miami. So
yeah, he was down here in Miami enjoying himself, having too much fun. But yeah, so if you guys are checking out for the first time, you can catch Woboy for Our Star Now. You can catch Fun Uncle on the weekend as well. And then we're here every Tuesday and Friday. You can check out Nifty Q on Wednesday and Thursday. Check out Easy Street on Thursday nights on our Discord. Shout out to Easy in the chat. And then Music Mondays. Catch Louis C. Rhymes as well. Yeah, catch Louis C. Rhymes on Spaces every Monday night. They always feature dope artists. I literally just copped one of his collabs last night with another artist that was really awesome. So I'm glad to support. Yesterday I bought stuff for Rizzo. I have Nifty Castle stuff. I just like supporting my friends in the space and the creators in the space who are constantly building and just doing great things, man. So definitely thank you for being here. We definitely appreciate it. And that's my parting words.
Sheesh, Tig was on a roll there. Poner and Woboy, I'll let you guys finish out, and then we will kind of get out of here.
Tig said all the words that I could ever want to say, and he deserves it with that Moonbird.
Dude, I was gonna say the same thing too. Just thanks everyone for being here. Shout out to LADZ City. It's been wonderful, just like collaborating with these wonderful people, and I need to pop into I think this is a full circle thing. I need to get rid of some Discord so that I can focus more on the ones that I care about. We just started like feeding some announcement notifications into our Discord from other Discords, because you can do that. You can like follow them, so that like you can see it there. It's like, oh shit, like I think that's super important. So our Vibe, our tribe. Thank you guys so much. Witchy GF is still minting. Please do not forget it. And then and thanks for the opportunity to be on here. This roundtable is a wonderful format, and this was refreshing and fun. So thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome, man. Shout out to each and every one of you. They said everything that I kind of wanted to say. So we're just going to head out here. Happy Lads Day, our vibe, our tribe. Like Tig said, NFT Live. We will be back next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard. Be there. Be square. All right, y'all. Later.
Peace.